Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to My Life as Kenzie. I hope you guys are having a great day. We're going to be jumping into a little bit of a philosophy idea. This is not originally my concept. I actually saw a TikTok about this many years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I'm just sort of expanding on the idea, and it might be a little tender, it's going to be layered, it might be a little uncomfortable. So today we're going to be looking at the link between zoocosis in animals and escapism in human beings. So whether you're here out of curiosity, resonance, skepticism, or you just stumbled in from the algorithm, you are welcome here. This space is for reflection, not perfection. I invite you to watch, consider what I'm saying, drop your thoughts below. This goes for any of my videos. Agreement with what I'm saying is never required. I would please just ask that mutual respect be, and that in the comment section we keep it curious, kind, considerate. Let's try not to attack or blame or shame, and definitely no intentional harm to be caused towards myself or other people. There's no reason for that, because I will eat the trolls if I have to. And nobody wants to see that shit, I promise. So let's get into it. So essentially we're going to be talking about how zoocosis in animals and escapism in humans are parallel responses to captivity, to an irregular way of living, being out of your natural environment, essentially. So zoocosis in animals is abnormal, repetitive behaviors. They can become aggressive, they can become self-harming, anxious, isolated. This can show up in a lot of different ways with animals: pacing, swaying, like I said, self-harming, and just a general apathy and discontent. These behaviors seen in animals in captivity are not random expressions of behavior. They are a response to distress. So what are we talking about when we're talking about escapism in humans? So this can be addiction, substance use disorder. This can be any way that a person is attempting, whether they are aware or unaware that they're doing this, to escape the reality that they live in. This can be through codependence. This can be through doom scrolling. This can be through having to have the new and best this and that of everything. This can be lashing out in anger at other people. This can be things like disassociation, all types of different mental health disorders, right? We're going to kind of like lump these into this idea of human escapism. Whatever way this looks, and there is an immeasurable amount of unique ways that this can show up in people's lives. And they can often be very subtle. Like I said, the person may not even be aware that this is something that is happening, that they're making an attempt to escape a feeling that is happening. This is not every individual person's fault that these things are happening. These are adaptive rituals to an environment that denies emotional safety, an environment that encourages disconnection, encourages consumerism, encourages anger, encourages pointing the finger, making blame on others. It encourages us to seek escape. Everything in our society is, and I'm speaking for people in America, I've never lived anywhere else in America, is built specifically for us to escape and do something else, something better. So why is this happening? So Homo sapiens have been around for 300,000 plus years, and other Homo species even longer than that. For the majority of our time as a species, we haven't been living the way that we live today. Let's call the people of today's world Homo industrialis. So we'll make that distinction. For the purpose of this video, we're going to consider this transition in humanity happening around the Industrial Revolution, which started in the late 1700s. So we start seeing larger cities, we start seeing work weeks, we start seeing productivity mindset, we start seeing that your value as a person is tied to how much you can produce, how much you can do. So as a species, we went from living in much smaller communal spaces where everyone helped everyone to an industrialized, work-driven, productivity-driven, disconnection-driven society. Now, I also want to note that there is no archaeological evidence of human-on-human violence up until about 10,000 years ago. So I want to make it clear that Homo sapiens are communal, gentle, curious creatures by nature. Now, once our world started to become industrialized, humans start to see themselves as outside of nature, that we're no longer a part of that rhythm. So we used to live with the rhythm of nature, and now we live to the tick of a clock. Our expectations of what our life means and why we're here and what we're supposed to be doing has shifted dramatically from the natural way that we used to live as a species. Do you honestly believe that we were put here to run on the hamster wheel all day, to just be mass producing, killing our planet? That's why we're here. We're here to make, the next iPhone. We're here to just do as you're told, stay in line, be a good worker. And then people start having normal responses to an abnormal way of living, and the finger is pointed back at them and saying, well, no, you're crazy. You're not doing this right. You're not good enough. Value in our society is tied to how much you can produce. Money. That is it. What do you think this does to your brain? If Homo sapiens are naturally communal, caring, and curious creatures, when you strip them of community, when you strip them of their ability to be curious, explore, ask questions, go enjoy themselves, what do you think is going to happen? We are the lions pacing in the cage, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This can look a lot of different ways. I'm going to go a little bit more into that because I feel like I kind of brushed over it a little too quickly at the beginning of the video. So escapism, addiction is obviously one that a lot of people, that's the first thing that comes to mind, is people who use substances. But escapism can look like overworking. It can look like scrolling, perfectionism, caretaking of others. I do this. I do this for sure. Disassociation, like I said, chronic busyness. This is a big one where you cannot stop. You feel bad. And I am this way too, because it's been so ingrained in my head. I feel bad if I am not being what I perceive to be productive. There is a guilt and a shame that is there for so many people who don't even realize that it's happening. They're just chronically busy. It's just all the time, nonstop. And this is a big one too. Spiritual bypassing. People who use spirituality and positive mindset to a degree that you are bypassing the actual emotions that are there. None of these things are failures. No one is a failure for doing these things and expressing these behaviors. These are rituals of survival in a society that punishes sensitivity and rewards numbness. Listen to that. A society that punishes sensitivity and rewards numbness. When you are putting every single ounce of your energy into just making it and getting by, the phrase like an animal in a cage, that is the reality. That's what you need to understand, that's the reality. Now let's talk about what happens when you start to really realize these things and really start to get in tune with yourself and realize how out of tune everything else is. The more in tune you are with your body and your emotions, the less you're able to ignore the costs. Because when you hear blissfully ignorant, this is a real thing. Because people are put in situations that they don't have a choice but to push themselves so hard every single moment of the day that if they were to become aware of how they really feel, they would no longer be able to sustain what they have to do just to make it, just to live, just to eat, just to keep a roof over your head. And not to mention God trying to, if you're a parent, give your children some emotional support, clarity, love, and fun, you know, like forget all that. Attunement becomes disabling when you live in a system that is built for disconnection. Our system is built for disconnection. Education and awareness, me doing these things, me making these videos, I don't care if 2 people watch it. If 2 people can hear this and see themselves reflected back to them and know that they're not alone in what they're experiencing, it was worth it. Connection is everything. Connection is everything, and we live in a society built for disconnection. What you see in animals in a zoo is a mirror to what human beings experience. We just have a lot of different names for it. For those of you who are doing the hard work, who are pushing yourselves internally to expand, to understand more, thank you, first of all, because the more of us who do it, the more powerful and helpful it is for all of us. For those who choose attunement over survival, your refusal to betray the truth of who you are, I commend you for that. Truly. Know that your sensitivity is resistance. Your rest is rebellion. That shit is sacred. That shit is human. That shit is human. When you stop performing and you refuse to pretend anymore, that shit ain't for the weak, I'm gonna tell you that right now. When people see that in you, if they are not in the place in their journey where they are opening up to themselves, it will anger them. It will make them mad. It will make them jump out of the bush and scream at you. I have been called and accused of and assumed of everything you could possibly imagine, because my vulnerability scares people, because our society is built on disconnection. People think this is normal. People think that this is normal life. This is not normal life at all. If you feel similarly, if any of this resonates with you, if any of this hits in a place that is that sensitive place, that vulnerable place, that human place, please, let's get connected. I want to know you. I'm here. I am here for you. I see you. Human escapism is not a weakness. It's a signal, a response to environments that violate our natural rhythms, that violates our sacred design. If you feel broken by the demands of modern life, know that it's not you that's broken. The system is misaligned. You feeling that, that's you coming into alignment. And it fucking hurts. It fucking hurts. Like I already said, it's not for the weak, that's for sure. The weak will choose ignorance every time. And I feel bad for them. Because this shit sucks. But I'd certainly rather be aware and have it suck than be pretending and have it suck. Because it sucks either way. I'm also not saying that it's not okay to seek escape sometimes. That is absolutely fine. Because that's survival. Honestly, when I reflect on my addiction, I have 5.5 years in recovery. You know, when I speak about it, I often say that the H word saved my life. And that's the truth. Because had I not had the ability to escape what I was feeling at that time, that'd have been the end of that. There's no way I could have gotten through it. I am happy to be on the other side of that now when it comes to the addiction part. On the other side of the emotions, not so much. Still in the thick of it. But seeking small escapes that are manageable, that are disciplined, that you're aware of that it's happening, that is totally fine. I mean, you can do whatever you want regardless, because I'm not here to tell you anybody what to do. But for those who resonate with what I'm saying, that's totally valid. That's totally valid. Getting through a single day for some of us you're a fucking champion. You're a fucking champion. Take from this what resonates with you, leave what doesn't. If you feel called to, please share your story below. If you have anything that you would like to add, if you have any questions, I would again like to reiterate that this was not my original idea, and that I don't remember who the creator was, but that this is when I heard them speak about this in a very short video. It stuck with me, and it's never left. If you've hung out this long, thank you. I appreciate you with my deepest respect, with my deepest care and all my love, because I love people. I love all people, even if you are mean. I have inherent love for you, and that's totally cool if you could care less, because it's not about you, it's about me and my humanity for me in this particular situation. I will not push people away. My goal is always to come to an understanding. So I would please ask that the comments remain respectful. You do not have to agree with me. There's no need to be rude, to talk about my appearance, someone else's appearance. I don't want to have to eat the trolls, but I will. Yeah, I will every time. And if any of you who we've gotten into it before are watching this, you know. And unfortunately for the trolls, I'm quite informed. And I know quite a bit about quite a bit. And I don't know quite a bit about a lot of shit. I know a bit, but I know what I know is I know nothing. What I know is that I know very little. and the people who that I get in the back and forth with are the ones whose cups are already full. My cup is empty. A cup's value is in its emptiness. Your cup, don't ever tell yourself that your cup is full when it comes to the expansion of consciousness and your understanding of yourself in the world. There's always more layers. I promise. It never stops. It's impossible to get to the core of everything that is you here on Earth, because your body would implode, because we live in a physical reality. Once you start moving through higher realms of consciousness, like dream states, when you're dreaming, you're certainly interacting with other dimensional spaces, whether you are aware of it, unaware of it, whether you choose to believe that that's actually happening or not. It is happening, and these are non-physical spaces. So there's only so much that can be done as a physical being. And that's just the whole other thing, getting into, vibrational, physics and all that shit. So I'm already at 22 minutes and 54 seconds, so I'm not gonna go into all of that, but yeah, give me your guys' thoughts. Let me know what you think. Thanks for hanging around. I'll see you guys next time.